we're back, and I bet you're wondering what I'm doing with a burning corn dog.
I'm not wondering. I know.
Please do tell.
It's not a burning corn dog. It is a candle, which smells like citronella. It's a very strong scent. But this is a fun activity for meditation.
Yes, that's what I was
Just
gonna
relaxation.
say.
We can use lots of services. I've done it on bottles, like used it on bottles.
Oh,
wood. Yeah, like a glass bottle. Those little plastic dinner plates. I actually used it on those before. And the first time you did it was on a pumpkin.
On a pumpkin, yes, it was.
So there's a lot of different things that you can use.
Much cleaner than carving.
And I know you've all got crayons hanging around your house that you either are too short to use or they're getting old or whatever. We thought we had used crayons. We actually at the scrap exchange found
brand new
crayons. But you're gonna want to pull the paper off your crayon as best you can, and you're gonna melt them. You're just gonna get the tip of your crayon a little hot, and then you're gonna dot or melt or whatever all over your project. That's it. Very simple, very relaxing. I like to play a little music while I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Just kind of think and meditate.
I would say I think this is the most relaxing art project I've ever done. And it always looks so neat afterwards. Even, for example, right now, because of the way I'm holding my corn dog, I have just wax as well. Oh, this is Downton Abbey.
Downton Abbey? Why are we burning this?
This is unfortunate. Where's my purple? But yes, you want to make sure to peel.
You're telling me you guys didn't... Once you blow that one out. That one... Okay.
What's wrong with it? Also, look at the art I'm getting on the side of my candle. It's fantastic. So, as we're doing this and showing folks at home, Michael Ruth, what would you say to somebody like myself a couple years ago who would have said, I'm not creative, I can't do any of this?
You would have think we'd practice this, because that is a very good question, Christy.
It's true. And I did say that.
Yeah, this leads into one of my, I think my most passionate things. I am most passionate about people and their creativity, because we've all been made in the image of a creative God. Every one of us possesses immense creative potential. And when people say they're not creative, I feel like it's kind of a slap in God's face, right? If you're saying I'm not creative, then you're saying that the God who created me was not creative, but he created everything. So what you should say, instead of saying I'm not creative, you should say I'm not confident. I'm scared.
Yes.
Because what you're really lacking is the courage to explore, the courage to express. Because when we make something, we feel like it's a representation of self, right? And then ego starts coming into play. What if people don't like it? What if they reject it? And that scares people off. They don't want to express themselves because they think they're not going to be good enough. And then you have this token of your failure, right? It's like, look, I made this, and everyone,
like a second grader did it.
Right. Now everyone sees that I am a failure. And I think that lack of courage and that lack of just ability, the confidence, the lack of confidence keeps people from really expressing their art. And when we can get over that, we actually can start exploring, and we can start melting crayons. That's why I think activities like this are really good, because you don't have to feel like you're good at it.
Right.
It's
or you're not trying to create something specific. Like, I'm not trying to do a cabin in the woods, because it's not going to look like a cabin in the woods by the end. It just won't. Like, I don't have the type of dexterity and visual, like, currently. Now, granted, I know practice can change that.
Exactly. And practice only happens when we have the courage to take the first step. Most of the time we're not going to practice because we're too afraid, or we think I don't have the time, I don't have the energy, and we make up lots of excuses about why we wouldn't, or why we can't, or why we couldn't. And really most of those excuses are based in fear. So when anybody comes to me and they say, I want to be more creative, I want to be an artist, I say, you already are. It's just you haven't had the confidence to express it. And when you can finally understand that, I think can be really fun to explore and see what your opportunity is, what your voice is.
Yeah. Where would you suggest that people start if they don't have someone in their life like you?
Well, we have so many resources online. So you can go to YouTube or you can go to Pinterest and you can find great tutorials that can help really, really easily. You don't have to have a lot of money to start. We've already proven that we can just make a mess. It's exploration, right? No, it is. I think the exploration, we find out, oh, this worked and that didn't work. And then next time you come to it, you can try again. You don't have to just because you're free to make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
When you're free to make mistakes, then you start to discover. So,
yeah, I think that's so important. And I think it's important too. I know for me, it was very important to be in a culture of artists. I was very fortunate to be around a culture of artists who weren't gatekeepers with it. And that's important to find people who are talented in this way, and it comes more naturally to them, who are willing to encourage instead of say, well, if you don't do this, if you're not Picasso or whatever. And there are so many people out there. Like, you can, especially now as things start to open up, you can find like meetups or Facebook groups if it's something you're wanting to explore. And I think just like acknowledging other areas of your creativity helps as well. Like for me, I say I'm a creative problem solver. Mm-hmm. I see a problem and I think of different ways around it maybe than somebody else would. And that's creativity too. And so just realizing that you can use that, and then if you want to express yourself in more visual ways, like acknowledging that that's a possibility. And sorry, I am creating a sculpture.
It can be a little hard to talk and do this at the same time, which is good that it doesn't have to look beautiful.
It's
right?
true, yes. Yeah. So I'm actually a big fan of how this wax is dripping right here and creating some different layers.
Absolutely unplanned. Looks like little mountains. I like all the color you got.
Thank you.
I'm jealous of your candle wax. I think I'm going to grab some of my own.
Yes. And hopefully the smell will.
Me, I really like to sketch. Like, it's really fun and relaxing to sketch. I don't do it a whole lot, but I mean, it's very meditative in that way, and it doesn't require hardly anything to sketch, right? I mean, a pencil and a piece of paper or a surface to work on.
Exactly. And there's a lot of stuff that you can, lost my train of thought.
That you can do about a lot of resources?
Yeah, I think that's it. You don't have to take a lot of things with you. You can keep a pencil in your pocket. Actually, I had a friend, she said she got to this place where she was going and she forgot her pencils, and I was like, you were in a grassy area. Why don't you try staining the paper with grass? Just explore and see what you can find. Kids are really good at that. They do it naturally, and I think it's partly because they haven't been told that it's not okay, that it's not art, that it's not acceptable, right? And they haven't lost that confidence in exploration and discovery. And when we become adults, we really do feel like it has to be perfect, and that perfection gets in the way of the beauty.
Right. I feel like perfection is almost an enemy of art. Just, I know sometimes how hard it is to call something done and put a signature on it because it's not quite there. I know that I have an issue with that too, and I'm not even like what I would consider like a visual artist as far as canvases and whatnot. But I think another thing that's really important that I found during pandemic times was like finding the creativity that you enjoy doing. Like, because that's why I never thought that I was an artist, because I hate sketching. I don't enjoy it. I find it stressful because I'm trying to create I'm trying to copy something. I'm trying to make it look like a dog, and heaven knows it never looks like a dog. Versus, like, I found that I find great joy in photography.
Right.
Because then I am showing you something from a different perspective. I'm not trying to, like, that's just where my creativity lies, is inviting you into a different perspective. Which is what I think you do with your art as well. It's just something that I found I like. And so I think it's important to realize that, okay, well, maybe you don't like melting crayons on this. I don't know why you wouldn't, but you might not. And maybe you don't like messes. And, but like, don't stop exploring different avenues, because there's something out there to help you express yourself.
Yeah. Well, and don't give up right away.
Yeah.
It's easy to like, oh, well, that dog didn't look like a dog in the first 5 minutes of sketching it. I'm never going to sketch again. I'm never going to finish this picture. Really, persistence will pay off in this, especially when you're trying to develop a skill. You really have to give yourself time to be able to do things. And I think we often give up too quickly.
Especially as I think as adults.
Yeah.
Adults have a tendency to do that.
Yeah.
I'd say that's true. Like painting, for example. Usually I don't like painting. I don't want to do it. And then yesterday we did watercolors, we did watercolors, and I had a blast. Did it look like something that I was like, oh, I love this at the end? No, but did I hate it? No. Did I have fun doing it? Yes, I did.
Yeah. Well, and did other people respond well to it? They
Yes.
actually did. When you posted that on social media, I think, would they have looked at it and said, oh, it's as good as what Michal Ruth might have made, right?
No.
Not necessarily. But they were excited about the fact that you were creating. The colors were beautiful and bright. And sometimes I underestimate the aesthetic of the individual. My personal aesthetic may not be your personal aesthetic. And you can find value in a lot of different things maybe other people wouldn't. Like going to the scrap exchange, right? You see the potential there that other people might not have seen. So, yeah, being an artist is really a lot about uncovering the invisible. It's making the invisible visible.
I like that. Like, for example, nobody knew that the back of this CD actually looked like this.
That's awesome.
But here it is, and you know what? I love it. I love the colors. I like my wax. And does it look like anything? No. But I'm a fan. I also am a really big fan of this candle now. I think, can you see that?
Oh, we definitely can see that.
It's
beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
I'm not going to display. I think that's the other thing. You don't have to make something to display it. Because I feel like if I'm going to be using these resources, like, it needs to be something that I'm going to hang up or like keep forever. And that's not necessarily true, like, especially during these times when people have so many big emotions, so many mixed emotions, a lot of thoughts cluttering your head, just to be able to scribble, like, maybe, you know, there's a specific issue that's really burdening your heart, or you can't get your feeling out, like, to be able to just scribble on something, to write words, to whatever, like, find a way to get it out of your brain. Can be really useful, especially in chaotic times.
Well, we focus on the product, and sometimes we just need to be able to enjoy the process. Right? The joy is in the journey, and when we are so focused on that end result, it can take away the actual joy, which is, for me, why I create, is because I have so much joy in creating.
Yes. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope that you have taken away some ideas. And especially leave with the idea that you are creative, that you are an artist. Take heart if you can't draw a stick person, because I can't either, but I can make this and have a great time doing it. And thank you so much, Michal Ruth, for coming. And if you want to see some of her work, it's at michalruth.com. That's
MICHALRUTH.
We'll include a link in the description.
Indeed. As always, thanks for watching, and keep it quirky.